All right, are you getting ready to sell your house and you're wondering, should I stage it or should I not? I mean, after all, the market only has about 0.3 or 0.4 months supply of housing in our local Bellevue area, and it's gonna sell anyway, right? Well, that's a question that's on a lot of people's mind. A lot of discussion comes up on that when you're interviewing real estate agents. And so in this video, I wanna talk about when should you stage a house and when should you not, because not all situations would warrant a staging. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nate Short. I've been a realtor for 20 years in the local Bellevue area, Greater East Side, and I just want to talk to you about this one very interesting subject because it seems to come up a lot when I'm in discussions, and I've had several listings lately where we had to ask ourselves that very question. So, first consideration I think is, what type of home is it? This is a natural one. You know, is it a tear down? Is it a remodel job? Is it some, regular resale where it's been fixed up, pretty nice, and you want to present it in the best light possible? Sometimes you have a home, like I have a home right now that I'm considering putting on the market pretty soon, and it's very specific to a certain style of home, and it would take a lot to actually repaint and then come in with new furniture, and then it would be almost conflicting with the style of the house. And so there's a lot of different considerations. I just had another one which had been owned by somebody since 1968, and it really needed to be gutted out and new electrical and all these things. So obviously we're not going to stage that because we have a different potential buyer. So which leads me into my second point of who is the buyer? Have you really looked at and identified, is it a investor? Is it a builder? Is it somebody who does remodels? Can it be remodeled? Is it just a tear down for a new construction home? Is it one of those ones that's kind of on the border, could be considered a tear down, or maybe a remodel or a fixer? And so in those situations, we might go either way with the staging decision, and it just depends. The third thing is, what are the seller's goals? I think that's a big consideration when you're thinking about staging. Some people are just like, hey, I don't want to go through the hassle. I get super anxious when people come into my house and want to take my furniture and maybe stage it with the new furniture. And what about my pets? Things like that. So you really have to talk through, with your client, with the seller, what are their goals and what do they want to do and what do they feel most comfortable with. Fourth thing is, what are the costs? Because staging, sometimes with our stages, it can get to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a stage. Other times we're just coming in, maybe investing a few fill-in types of pieces. We're putting some new art on the wall, maybe some pillars, some plants and things like that. So, but we want to definitely weigh that out, and that's a lot of what we do as agents, or I do, is trying to figure out how are we going to maximize the net proceeds and what's going to give us a faster sale, which usually go hand in hand, those two things. And then the last thing, what are the market conditions? Obviously right now, the market's super tight, but people do pay for a turnkey, home that really looks beautiful. And so when you have 50, 70, 100 people coming into an open house, I really do think that in most cases you get a significant return on staging the property. Of course, it also gives you great photos, and since most people are going online to look at those photos, having it staged is super important. There's also, one other thing to add is you can do virtual staging where you're bringing in furniture, but that can be, something to go through and analyze too if that's a potential possibility. So there are multiple ways to stage. So hopefully this video has, given you some insights into how we evaluate whether we're going to stage or not. If you have any questions about selling or you're interested in selling, please give us a call. Obviously, we'd love to help you out. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video, gotten something out of it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.